The University of Portland's really a unique university in that we're small, we're a residential institution, and we have a pretty extraordinary sense of community here. We've always had a great commitment on the part of faculty as well as students to the library, but we had really reached a point where the space was so uninviting. Low ceilings, lack of natural light, columns in the way. We really had to get creative about how to change this space. None of us know exactly how students are going to continue to change. But we know that right now, and for the near future at least, students work in a much more collaborative way than they once did. So we knew what we wanted was to move to a more student-centered space, not so much stuff-centered, which is what libraries used to do.
We really approached the project with maximum flexibility in mind. So there are many activity areas and places for students to come together and collaborate, talk, and work on group projects together.
The furniture had to be movable for the most part. It had to be highly flexible. It had to support technology. It had to be comfortable and inviting.
We do have every type of seating configuration you can think of on every floor.
So there are certain areas where things don't move very much, and there are certain areas where a lot of stuff moves and can be rearranged constantly.
Students are using the library in a way that even we hadn't planned. You come in and you'll find all different types of furniture pulled together.
The university really liked the use of the family of generation chairs on this project. It lent itself to so many different spaces with the armless task chair as well as the multi-generation chairs and all the impromptu meeting areas and breakout areas.
It fits ergonomically with all these different shapes and sizes that we were working with, and then we've got these great colors that just integrated perfectly into our color palette.
We had a lot of fun on the project with the use of color and materials.
When you first walk in the library, that kind of yellow-green color has lots of energy and excitement, and I think right away you know that this is a space that's welcoming and is going to have a lot going on. And then as you come upstairs, you still see some of that yellow-green color, but you also get some blues introduced, a little bit calmer than the main floor. Downstairs, which is our quiet floor, could have been too somber, but instead I think we really achieved a sense of richness in that quiet space.
One of our project goals was to really bring the interior environment up to speed with regard to technology.
Using antenna throughout the spaces really allowed them to accomplish a more progressive approach to the space. It allows for easy access to electric through the flip-top tables on the antenna system.
Before we were able to really transform this library, walking through the library was a hazard. You had to really pay attention or you could trip and fall over all the cords that were dragged across the aisles. You don't see that anymore.
I'm so proud of the fact that we were able to help the university meet their goals and create a space that appeals not only to the students of today, but also tomorrow. There is truly Knoll throughout the entire space, from classic Knoll pieces such as the Moom chair and the Saarinen chairs to Knoll textiles.
Students use this enormously now. We used to average about 1,200 visits a day. Now we are closer to over 2,000 visits a day.
Every time I come back here over the last 8 months, there's hardly a seat.
This is a great little story that a student told me yesterday, actually. She says she has a little GPS app on her phone, and that it defaults and begins to think the place you go to the most is home. And so it will say things like, you're 5 minutes away from home. It has now made the library that default, so it thinks the library is in fact home for her.